the entire details of ACCA. I'm going to cover right from what is ACCA and is it for you, to its eligibility, the academic structure, the value of ACCA in India and overseas, the fee structure, and any other aspect of this qualification. And I hope that this gives you the highest level of value, where it helps you make an informed, correct decision whether you take up ACCA or you hear this and realize it's not for you. And guys, do stay till the end of this video because we're going to announce something that should be beneficial to many of you guys. Is ACCA really worth it in 2025 for you? Now, this question has been asked to us as always across the years, but this year let me try and help you make a more informed decision, not from a perspective of whether you should do ACCA or not, but really what is it and does it really resonate with what you are today, what you want to do, and maybe is this the right career plan for you? So let me start quickly with my story, right? Back in the day when I was doing ACCA, it was absolutely unknown. If you are not sure about its value today, 15 years ago, it was nothing. But for some reason, I stuck to it and I landed up completing the exams along with my college, and I landed up working on the side as well in a CA firm. So during my college days, morning 7 to 11ish, I would be in college. 11 to like 8 in the night, I would do auditing and I would sort of work in this CA firm. And then post dinner in the night, I would land up studying for these exams. So over 3 years, I landed up completing the ACCA exams, even though nobody knew about it, and built a little bit of work experience on my CV. By the time I graduated, I got an opportunity in my dream company, which was one of the big four, PwC. And in this case, I had my friend Devanshi with me. Both of us were the same age. Both of us had done BCom. So for a company like PwC, where she also applied, they looked at both of us and said, oh, these guys are very similar. Same age, same upbringing, same education background, etc. So they hired both of us. But because I had ACCA with me, they put me 2 designations above Devanshi. So she was what we call an analyst, which is what a graduate is hired at. And I was what they call an associate. Her salary that time started at 2 lakhs. Mine started at 7. Everything else was the same, except that I had landed up studying this. So I realized at the end of 3 years that all of my efforts were paying off because I got a great start to my career. But I did land up spending 3 years with much more effort than any of my friends, but then what Devanshi had to, because she only obviously studied for college, whereas for me, college was the third thing. I had ACCA exams and work experience, which were both above it. You know, people used to really push me that, why don't you go abroad? Why don't you do MBA? Okay, you've done your ACCA now. Why don't you do something that might be more appealing, has more value? While working at PwC, I realized that if this could happen to me, and I'm sure there are other students in the market who might benefit from a qualification like ACCA but don't know much about it. And that's what sort of made me start Zell. And beyond that, the career has taken off in a different trajectory. First of all, what is ACCA? Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. The body is based out of UK, but they have offices in India as well, in Mumbai, in Gurgaon, in Bangalore. Then what is the eligibility? So I generally recommend students to take up ACCA post grade 10. But literally this year, we have a student who started ACCA in grade 9. It's just that the student is ready to take in that extra effort, build whatever knowledge he does not have compared to his other senior folks, but is ready to take in the effort. And I've seen these kind of students are the ones who have the highest momentum, have the highest energy, and actually land up completing ACCA the fastest. So when it comes to eligibility, literally it doesn't matter who you are, what field you've come from, which city you are from, what age you are, you can take up ACCA. Next comes the academic structure. So let's keep it simple. 13 papers, 1-3, split into 3 levels: the knowledge level, skill level, and professional level. The fastest you can complete it is 18 months, all 13 papers, if you really run. But otherwise, if it's taking you more than 3 years, then you need to basically speed it up. Here's what the flexibility comes. ACCA exams, the exam window as we call it, are held 4 times a year: March, June, September, and December. Now, while this is great for those who really take advantage of the time, which means every 3 months you can give 1 to 2 exams, and in a year between 6 to 8 exams you can aim at completing, which is 8 is the maximum ACCA allows you. But if you are by chance going slow, you're thinking that, oh, I have 1 more attempt in 3 months, so I'll skip this attempt, then you are not using the flexibility well. So please don't do that. Next comes the passing mark. In every ACCA exam, out of 100 marks, you just need to score 50 on 100. So 5 out of 10 marks or 1 out of 2 marks you have to score in every question and you will clear. Plus, unlike CA, where there is an aggregate system, which means if I give 4 papers together, I will have to clear all 4 or I have cleared 0. In ACCA, if you give 3 or 4 papers together, you need to score 15 each individually. And if you, let's say, out of 4 papers, you score 50 in 3, only one you have not. You only repeat that one paper, that also within 3 months, that also with maybe the next 2 or 3 papers. So always moving forward. Next, when it comes to the passing rate, so out of 100 people, how many pass? So in ACCA across the world over the last 10 years, more than 50% of the students land up passing this. Of course, at Zell, because of our infrastructure and faculties and content, etc., here the passing rate goes above 80%. So 8 out of 10 students land up passing. Next, when it comes to the exam pattern, right? So the paper pattern. So ACCA for the knowledge level is completely objective, only multiple choice questions. So you give an exam, as soon as you're ready, and on the spot, in the end of 2 hours, you will know if you've passed or not. Move ahead to the next paper. When it comes to the skill level, it is split into objective, which is MCQs, and subjective, where you have to actually solve sums and analyze it. And finally, the final level, professional level, is completely subjective, as we call it. So you've got to ensure that the entire 100 marks is solved, is analyzed. It's like more of a full-length answer that you have to type out or solve on Excel. And of course, like obviously by default, everything is computer-based, because the real world now, nobody really expects you to solve using pen paper. So ACCA is that way advanced enough to make sure that they keep hearing what the world wants, which direction the world is going, and then they inculcate it all into your syllabus. In fact, I recently made a video. ACCA came up with new updates where they are inculcating a lot of AI, a lot of technology aspects, and in fact, they're making certain changes in the way the structure will be from 2 years down the line to make it exactly what the industry wants. So by being part of this kind of a global body, you're hopefully always in demand, whether again you are working here in India and your employer knows about this value, or tomorrow you decide to go overseas. Next, when it comes to the scope, right? So if I talk about India, we have not only the big four, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, EY, but we have Grant Thornton and BDO, the 6 biggest multinationals which hire finance and accounting professionals. All of them in India are hiring ACCAs. All of them are hiring ACCAs at the same level as that of a CA, just like what happened to me back in the day with PwC. All of these companies are working with us, working with so many other ACCA members, and now the explosion of hiring ACCA has just shot up. Willing to hire ACCAs not only at the qualified level, but even during their CA articleship equivalent. So, which is in ACCA, we call it the PER, Practical Experience Requirement, which you can, I'll explain you what that is at the end. But basically, it means that even when you're studying for ACCA, you have 0 work experience before that. These big companies are hiring you because of your ACCA, and many of them are giving you exam leaves, etc., etc. A lot of other multinationals. There are some companies like ACES and Tres Vista. These companies you may not have heard about, but are very well-paying companies, hiring people, ACCA freshers at 10 lakhs plus as their starting salary. So it's insane how well these kind of companies are paying because of these qualifications. Then you go into Indian companies, then you go to Motilal Oswal, go to Anand Rathi, go to Kotak Mahindra, go to so many of these Indian companies that are also hiring ACCAs now. So when you think about the kind of opportunities you have in companies, it's immense to start off your career. Over and above that, we have so many students now who have eventually over time started their own companies. One of my students, Rashesh, started a AI-based company, even though he's an ACCA, because he understood how business works. They started an AI company. Another student of mine, Neil is extremely smart. He did ACCA, but he also did CFA. He also went to Deloitte. So, a lot of credit to him. But he started an investment banking firm where I think he's raking in some immense amount of wealth, all due to, of course, his effort. But luckily, these kind of qualifications are the starting aspect of his career. And like I said, we have students. There's this girl called Mansi. I made an entire video on her. She got hired for 10 lakhs at ACES with 0 work experience and not even completed all her 13 papers of ACCA. In 12 papers or 10 papers or something, she got an opportunity. Now she'll clear the other 3 papers and keep building her career. The starting salary package, I give you good examples, but it can start from 5 lakh all the way to 10 lakhs as your first salary, depending on how you perform, how your interview goes. And then, of course, as you move forward, it can just grow to an unlimited amount. All this is if you decide to work in India. If you decide to keep your doors for moving out overseas open, then countries like Dubai, Singapore, UK, Canada, Australia, we've had people going from India, Indians going to all these kind of countries When it comes to Dubai, I think we have hundreds of students who are working from Dubai. Many of them which started here from India. So again, it just goes on and on. I know somebody who had gotten a call after becoming ACC in India from Australia, Melbourne, for an accountant position at 50, this is 10 years back, 55,000 Australian dollars sitting from here. So the good part is, guys, that even going overseas gives you a lot of opportunities with ACCA. Next is the fee structure. Simply put, it'll cost you between 4 to 5 lakhs total, which includes everything that you pay the ACCA body, registration fees, every exam you have to give an exam fee. Then there is something called a subscription fee, which once you start ACCA, you have to pay the subscription fee to the body every year. All these three things, registration, exam fees, subscription, you pay to the body directly, you pay in pounds. Then comes your training fees and your study material. You combine all of that over a period of 3 years, total will cost between 4 to 5 lakhs. If you have, you've got received exemptions, then obviously depending on how many exemptions, the time and the cost of ACCA keeps reducing. Second, you have the ability to earn while you learn. So it's not really that you just invest. The minute you start working, you're going to start recuperating some of it back. But the best part is, if you are a good candidate, you get a good opportunity after your studies, the chances that your salary should be above 5 lakh is very high. So you're going to recover everything in 1 year. There is barely any qualification in the universe where you have value in multiple countries. You can become an expert in your field and the payback is a year or lesser. So I think that this qualification with its flexibility, with its advantages, is great for most students if you take the advantage in the right way. So this is on the fee structure. Now with the ACCA, there are a few other aspects. Like I said earlier, there's something called PER, which means along with your 13 papers, you need to work and demonstrate that you can actually apply your learnings before you become what we call an ACCA member. So I've made an entire video on PER. Have a look at that. I mentioned exemptions. If you don't know what that is, we made a video on exemption. That's a superbly unique feature of ACCA. And since you stuck till the end of this video, please do click on the link below. We will be choosing 2 out of you guys to actually have a one-on-one with me where you can ask anything, whether it is about any of our programs, anything about your career in the field of finance and accounting, or about this video. So looking forward to having a chat with each of you guys one-on-one. As always, if you are still not sure, wanting more options, leave it in the comments. We'll get back to you guys.